My name is Jeremy Devins and welcome to the Quiet Mind Yoga YouTube channel. And today is an all levels full body yoga practice. So this is like a Hatha Flow style. So it's not quite vinyasa, but there is some time where we'll move with the breath. And it's not quite just Hatha because we have that flowing stuff. But we also have some time doing more yin postures. So it's a real nice balance. And we start simple and slow. We build up and have a little bit of opportunity for challenging postures. And then we start to wind down in some slower stuff and even some pranayama breathing practices. So if you're totally new to yoga, if you don't consider yourself flexible, this is a nice place to start. And you don't even need a mat. And this is great for guys as well, guys who consider themselves less flexible, but for all levels, all ages, and even all experiences. So you're going to have a good, well-rounded practice. And this is one that I'd suggest if you want just one you could come back to over and over again. That includes a little bit of everything. This is a great practice. We'll emphasize a little more on flexibility, but I'm always emphasizing strength, flexibility, and balance because we need all of them for our muscles to work and feel their best. So let's get right into it. And if you like this video, please subscribe, like, and comment. But here we go. Let's start our practice. Find a comfortable seated posture. It's whatever is comfortable for you. And just notice how you're feeling. If you have any tension anywhere that you want to maybe move the shoulders, move the neck. And start to find a long spine, shoulders relaxed. Your eyes can close or rest on a spot in front of you. And just let your breath start to go down to your lower belly. So when you inhale, there's an expansion in the belly. When you exhale, there's a softening in the belly. And we'll bring the hands to the heart, just to bow the mind to the heart in a moment of centering. If you have an intention you'd like to set for your practice today, you could think of that. And we'll release the hands down and come over to Child's Pose. Knees apart, arms forward, forehead down. And start to press into your hands to lift the elbows and press your hips back into Child's Pose. And we'll come up to hands and knees and just start to make any movements that feel good for you. Forward, back, side to side. Shoulders, neck, moving around any way that feels good. And come to a neutral spine for cat pose, rounding your back, tucking the pelvis and chin in. And into cow pose, extending the spine, lifting the heart. A few times with your breath, exhale to cat pose. Inhale to cow pose. And back to cow pose, and we'll stay there and reach the arms forward towards the corners of your mat. Forehead down into puppy dog, heart open. And walk your arms to your left into a side bend. And walk your arms to your right. And back to the center to thread your right arm underneath, right shoulder down. And to the other side, left shoulder underneath into a twist. Then we'll come back to the center for downward facing dog. You could bend one knee at a time. And back to hands and knees to step your right foot forward into a low lunge. And here we'll move in and out of the lunge a few times, forward on the inhale and back on the exhale, straightening the leg. Just a few times with your breath. Next time you come forward, we'll stay there and bring your hands down inside of your foot to lizard lunge. And today we're going to be focusing more on flexibility and increasing flexibility in general. So starting with some basic hip openers, we'll go deeper later in the class. Bring your hands back up and lean onto your left hand. Open your right arm towards the ceiling to bend your back knee and reach for the foot. Maybe grab the foot here, otherwise just in that direction. Still that bend in the back knee. And release the foot and walk your hands to the left into a wide-legged forward fold. Any amount here, folding over the legs. And you might walk your hands back or hold elbows or any other version of this. So we're working our way around all the major muscles of the legs. Front, back, and sides. Right now in the back of the legs. And turn towards the back of your mat, down to the lizard lunge. Hands inside of the foot to an elbow or both elbows to lower down. And back into the hands and right hand down. Left arm opens up into a twist. Bend the back knee and maybe grab the foot here. And slowly release, hands down and into the movement again. So half splits to a lunge, forward and back a few times. Exhaling to come back like cat pose. Inhaling forward like cow pose. Next time you come forward, stay there and walk your hands to your right, back to the wide-legged forward fold. Any version of this maybe feels a little different. Maybe it's the same, but just noticing how it feels for you. And then we'll heel toe the feet in just a step or two closer to bring your right hand to your left leg, the thigh, shin, or ankle. And twist, turning towards the ceiling, but also bend into your opposite knee. Bend into the elbow of the arm that's pulling to get into the upper back. Then we'll come over to the other side, same thing. Grab anywhere on the leg, bend into the opposite knee, and twist, turn towards the ceiling. And back to the center. To bend into one knee at a time, left to right, stretching inner legs. And then turn towards the front of your mat. Back to a plank pose, high push-up position. Hold and breathe here for a moment. And come all the way down to stomach. And some simple shoulder stretches here. Left arm reaches straight out to the left. And roll onto your left side. Right foot lands behind you. So you're stretching into the left shoulder, left side of the chest. Stay there or wrap your right arm around your back. And then we'll come back down to the other side. Same thing. Right arm reaches out. Roll onto your right side. And you can wrap your left arm around here. And back to the center, to the elbows into a Sphinx Pose. And start to round the back, engaging the core as you peel your spine up off the floor, maybe to your knees, maybe to your feet. And then you inhale, everything comes back down, extending the spine. As you exhale, peel everything up. Inhaling to come down. Continue at your own pace a couple times. Contracting and releasing the muscles of the front of the body. And next time you come down, we'll stay there in the Sphinx Pose and hold here, shoulders down the back. And lower to bring the hands under the shoulders, back to hands and knees. And again to downward facing dog. You can bend one knee at a time here. And we'll walk up to the front of the mat to a forward fold. Knees can bend. And you can hold opposite elbows or let your head hang down here. With the bend in your knees, engage your core to roll up to stand. Head comes up last. We'll come into mountain pose, unclenching the toes, rooting down into the ball and heel of each foot. Shoulders slightly down and back. So right now there's a lot of uncertainty and instability going on. So in our practice in your body, you can embody stability, centered, grounded, connecting body, mind, and breath into this present moment. The only thing we can really control is our response to our thoughts and what's happening outside of us, which thoughts we want to focus on. And in our bodies, just focusing on the present moment sensations, maybe the temperature on your skin, the rise of breath on the inhale, and the slight drawing in on the exhales. We'll start to move with the breath. Now inhale to reach the arms up. And exhale to fold all the way down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plank. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, belly or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, forward lunge, left knee down. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, plank. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, belly or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, forward low lunge, right knee down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower your hands, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plank. Inhale and plank. Exhale, belly or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg back. Exhale, forward lunge. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, plank. Hold for an inhale. Exhale, belly or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, forward high lunge. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, lower hands, step forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. Adding on, inhale to reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, right to chaturanga or belly on the exhale. Inhale the cobra up dog. And exhale, down dog. Inhale, right leg back, open the hip. And exhale, warrior two. Hold and breathe here for a moment. Relaxing the grip of the toes. Use the ball and heel of each foot to root down. Palms up, reverse warrior, reach back. And float the hands down. Maybe floating your right leg through chaturanga, up dog, down dog, or right to down dog. Left leg back, open the hip. Step forward, warrior two. And we'll hold and breathe here. Palms up, reverse warrior. Float your hands down, maybe float your left leg through vinyasa, meeting back in down dog. Holding in down dog, grounding through the base knuckles of the fingers. Contract the quadriceps, the front of the thighs. Look between the hands, step or hop. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart. A variation. Now inhale to reach up. Exhale to chair pose, either hands at hearts or arms alongside the ears. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And exhale, plank. Right hand a little forward from center. Side plank, stacking the feet or right knee down. Stay here or lift your left leg. And we'll come down to the other side, side plank. Again, either knee down or leg stacked. Maybe lifting the right leg. And back down, all the way to the stomach for locust pose, either arms like a W or straight back, like a sort of A shape. And then lower, downward facing dog. Right leg reaches back. And step it forward to a lunge for warrior 3. Arms back like locust. Lean forward and lift any amount to balance. Standing splits, lower your hands down. Maybe one hand to your ankle or both hands to your ankle. Find your balance here. And then back to the lunge. Warrior 2. Left hand to the waist and right hand to the right corner of your mat to lift your back leg. Stay here or float your right hand. Maybe raise the left arm, find your balance here, and come back down to warrior 2. Palms up, reverse warrior. And float your hands down, vinyasa or right to down dog if you want. Next, inhale, left leg back. And exhale, forward, high lunge. Warrior 3 to come up. Any amount, lifting the back leg. Maybe you're more like a diagonal line for now. And to standing splits. Hands to the floor or the ankle, lifting your back leg. And then back to the warrior 2. Right hand to the right waist and left hand to the left corner. Halfmoon Pose. Again, maybe floating the arms here. And back to warrior 2. Palms up, reverse warrior. And float your hands down. Vinyasa or right to down dog. Look between the hands, step or hop to the front. And inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose to hold there. And rise up to stand. Arms relaxed beside you, back to mountain pose. Just noticing how you feel, maybe a little warmer. Maybe the heart rate's increased. Maybe the breath got more shallow in the lungs, but again, coming back to the slow belly breaths. A little more balance here. We'll come into chair pose. Hands at the heart, hips back and down. And weight into your right foot to let your left foot just hover off the ground up into tree pose. Left knee pointing out to the left. And you can have your foot floating off the leg if you want more activation of the outer hips. We're going to stretch there quite a bit in a minute. You can also have your arms up overhead and even close an eye or both eyes if you want to challenge your balance here. And we'll slowly come back down to chair pose. Weight into the left foot and bring the right leg up to tree pose, any amount. Foot can be at the ankle, calf, or thigh, or floating off the leg. You can also raise your arms here, maybe close one eye or both eyes. And then back down to the chair pose, down to Navasana boat pose, down to your tail. And you could support your legs here. You could have your legs to straighten out, lifting the heart. You could also have arms up alongside the ears. Hold and breathe anywhere along the way. Low back touches down, everything else still lifting. Arms could be beside you or arms overhead again. And then just lower down to your back and let go of effort. Letting your body become heavy, sinking down to the floor. Notice your breathing. Again, the slow, deep belly breaths, letting your nervous system regulate, which is one of the most important skills to have right now and that we get to cultivate in yoga, is regulating the nervous system. So when there's something out of our control or something stressful, we can practice coming back to just noticing the body, noticing the breath in the present moment. And just a little more active work here. So bring the knees in and rock forward and back, massaging the spine. And come all the way up to standing forward fold again. And here we'll work on a little arm balance work. So feet together, knees apart, setting up for a crow, Bakasana. Hands about shoulder width apart like they would be in down dog or chaturanga. And then hips raised to bring your knees to your triceps. And you might just stay here today and lean into your hands. You might lean more and lift one heel or both heels in towards your tail to balance in crow. A couple of breaths. Either step or hop back to chaturanga, up dog, down dog, or right to down dog. And then we'll come down to the knees and hands and knees to bring your fingers to point back towards your knees and stretch out the wrists and forearms a bit here. You can lean side to side, a little back more. And then we'll let the hands out and just the left hand with the palm up, facing back towards the knees, leaning back. And then to the other side, same thing. And now to tuck the toes and sit back on the heels and interlace the fingers to press the arms away, rounding the back. Now raise the arms overhead. Still pressing the hands away, raising the shoulders. And bend the elbows like a W, lifting the heart. Interlace the hands behind the back and reach the arms back behind you to lift the heart. And we'll release there. And then to the tops of the feet, to lean back onto the feet here. And maybe back to the hands to lift your knees. And one knee a little higher to get more stretch on that side. And then the other knee a little higher. Now both knees equally lifting the heart. One hand to the heart, maybe both hands. And slowly release down, back to hands and knees. And make any movements in your spine that feels good here. All directions. All that active stuff we did, helping warm up the muscles to be more receptive to stretching, increasing both strength and flexibility. We'll come back to a neutral spine and step the right foot forward into a low lunge. And like at the beginning, we'll come forward into the lunge on the inhale and back into half splits on the exhale. A few times, forward and back. Next time you come forward, we'll stay there in the lizard lunge, down to hands or elbows. And a little longer than before, hold and breathe here. We'll start to come back to the hands, and left hand a little bit off to the left. So open your right arm, bend the back knee, and grab the foot. And here you might bring your heel towards your tail more, or you might scoot your hips or move your hips further down towards the ground, contracting your left glutes. And then we'll let that go into the wide-legged forward fold again, turning to your left. Any version of this with the arms. And then back up to hands to turn towards the back of the mat, and hands are to kneeling, and one right knee down, and move forward and back a few times. Exhaling to come back, inhaling to come forward. And then next time you come into the lunge, we'll stay there, hands down. Maybe one elbow, maybe both elbows come down into the lizard lunge. And we'll come up to the hands again. The right hand out to the right. Left arm up towards the ceiling. Bend the back knee. And maybe grab the foot. Again, you can emphasize more heel to tail or hips towards the ground, depending where it feels right for you. And we'll let that go and turn to the right, again to the wide-legged forward fold. Any variation if you want. For the shoulders, you could interlace the hands behind the back and let the arms come overhead here. And then we'll all bring the hands under the shoulders and heel toe your feet in a step or two, closer to bend into one knee at a time, left to right. And then all the way to Skandasana, bending into your left knee, right toes turned up. And you stay on your hands or one hand to the heart, maybe both hands to the heart to balance. Your left heel can be down or lifted here. Find a spot to focus your eyes. And then we'll come over to the other side. Same thing. Skandasana, finding a point of balance here. And back to the center to heel toe your feet in a step or two to a horse stance, hands on your thighs, and turn the shoulder to the opposite knee, left to right. And back to the center to heel toe the feet in a step or two closer down to Malasana, low squat. Heels can be down or heels lifted, hands to the heart. Centering and grounding here. And then come down to your hands behind you, down to your tail with either feet together, knees apart, stretching your legs, or wide angle pose, legs out wide to stretch inner legs. Either way, you can stay tall or fold forward over the legs. And as we emphasize flexibility, we stay for about 45 up to 90 seconds at most, and around 60 to 80% of your edge. So not 100% of your edge, not too long in the pose, just enough to stimulate the stretch receptors to tell the body to become more flexible. And we'll start to sit back up and bring your left leg straight ahead, right foot to your thigh. Janu Shavasana, head to knee pose, getting long in the spine and folding over the left leg. You can have your hands just wherever they are, or you could grab onto the foot, maybe interlace your hands past the foot, and move your forehead towards your knee if you want a little more. And then we'll come up to the other side. Same thing, Janu Shavasana. Foot to thigh, long spine, and fold over the leg any amount. And we'll start to come back up to bring both legs straight out. And knees can bend, fold over the legs any amount. You grab onto the big toes or the feet, hands over feet. Any version of this, folding here. And we'll start to sit back up and bend the knees to lean back on your hands and lift the heart. You might stay right there, or if you want a little more active, you start to lift your hips up, and a little more from there you could extend one leg, maybe both legs straight out. A couple breaths here, just strengthening the back after all that lengthening of the back. And I'll lower back down into some version of pigeon, either right knee forward into the sort of normal pigeon, or you could do the figure four on your back. And we'll stay here, maybe elbows out wide, stacking your hands. So rest your head. About one more minute here in pigeon pose. And then slowly transition to the other side. Make any movements in between that you want. And when you're ready, coming back to Pigeon on the left side. Now start to come up here, back to the hands and knees. And any movements that you want to make in the spine here, shoulders, and maybe circles in the hips, moving both legs any way that feels good. And we'll come over to just a comfortable seated posture and focus on the shoulders for a minute here. So sitting tall, relaxed, cross-legged, whatever's comfortable here. We'll bring the arms up overhead and shrug the shoulders, and then bend the elbows like a W to unshrug the shoulders. Cross your left arm over your right arm and either hold shoulders or wrap your arms like eagle pose. And let the elbows lift up in line with the shoulders. So instead of down, lifting up and a little bit forward, moving your hands slightly forward, and then to your left, lean the hands and lean your head to your right. This puts a nice stretch into the upper traps, the levator, these neck muscles. Kind of tricky area to work with, but this is a good way to get in there. And keep the hands moving slightly forward rather than in towards the face, but away from the face. Let your jaw relax here. Even like a yawning motion can be very therapeutic. And we'll slowly let that go. And arms overhead again, shrugging the shoulders, tensing up. And bend the elbows like a W. Left, or your right arm on top, your left arm underneath to wrap the arms. And let your hands lean to your right, your head to your left. And move the neck around here, jaw relaxed. Maybe yawning if you want. And slowly release. Arms overhead, inhale. And then exhale, keep your left arm up, wrap your right arm around your back, and move the hands any amount towards each other without rounding your back. So crawling your right arm up the back slowly with control, no rush, being gentle there. It's okay if the fingers don't get anywhere near each other, just anywhere in this direction is going to help move the internal rotators of the arms, which are kind of tricky areas to work with. Now slowly let that go and switch sides. Same thing to the other side. Any amount. Moving the hands in the direction of each other. And we'll let that go. And reach both arms out in front of you, folding over the legs. Press into your hands to raise your elbows, just like we did in child's pose at the beginning, rounding your back like cat pose. And we'll come back up to sitting, come over to your back. Knees into rock side to side, massaging the back. Now take your left foot to your right hand. Let your left knee lower down to the ground. So you're stretching into the quadriceps. And then your right knee could come in to your left hand. So focusing on stretching the quads here on the left leg. If you want a little more, you could hold behind your right knee and extend the leg up towards the ceiling. So moving the ankle around, the toes. And we'll let that go. Switch to the other side. Quad stretch, hugging the knee in. Stay there or extend the left leg and move the ankle and toes. And I'll let both feet onto the floor, like bridge pose. And we'll peel the spine up off the floor into a bridge. You can stay there or fingers towards your shoulders, elbows slightly in to wheel pose to come to the top of your head. And then press up, just straighten the arms and hold and breathe wherever you're at. A couple of breaths here. And slowly down to happy baby pose, holding outside knees, shins, or feet. And you can stay still or rock side to side. Could extend one leg at a time. And then let the feet down, knees bent, and come into some sort of inversion. It could be hands under your tail, lifting your legs up. Could be shoulder stand, catching your low back. Or if you have a wall space right by you, like I do, you can just have your legs at the wall. We'll have about a minute to some version of being upside down. And then wherever you're at, just slowly start to come back down to your back. And we'll end with twist, breathing exercise, and then Shavasana. And so here we'll let the hips move to the left side and knees into the right side. So you're stacking the pelvis and you can crawl your shoulders into a goalpost or a T and turn your head away from your knees. So your whole spine's in a twist. You could also cross your legs here if you want, or any other variation of that. Now slowly come back to the other side. Same thing, just stacking the hips to come into a twist and turning the head away from the knees. And back to center to set up for Shavasana. We'll do a little breathing practice for a minute and then a couple minutes in resting. So any little adjustments you need to feel comfortable here. And we'll move into alternate nostril breathing. You'll inhale on one side, one nostril, and you'll exhale on the other nostril. So you're opening and closing with your thumb on your right hand and your last two fingers. So starting by inhaling on your left side and exhaling on your right side. Inhaling on the right side and exhaling on the left side. Continue like this a few times, inhaling one side, exhaling the other. And we'll let this breathing technique go and let your arms down beside you, setting up for Shavasana. And we'll have a couple minutes to just rest in stillness here. If there's any other little adjustments you need to feel comfortable, do that. Arms out, palms up, legs out, externally rotated, turning the toes out. And centering in this grounded presence that you've cultivated today, support of gravity holding you. The breath maybe a little lighter and easier than when you started, the body maybe a little less tense. Now just start to notice how you feel. The fingertips and toes, starting to make small movements, hands and feet, arms and legs. And eventually come over to one side and rest on your side. And back up to a comfortable seated posture. And we'll just take a moment to close our practice with seated posture, hands at the heart, bowing the mind to the heart and to each other. Thank you for practicing today. Namaste.